Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Taylor, and I am the advocate of the devil. The world we live in is huge. 7.5 billion people spread across 7 continents, which is then divided up into 193 separate countries. Myself, I spent the majority of my time in exactly one country. One city, really. But in the last few months, I've gone out and actually explored a little bit. Whether it be searching for Nessie out on the Emerald Loch, or climbing enough steps to reach the plateau of the Arc de Triomphe, not having to worry about leg day for a while. The planet is a many-splendored thing, with new sights to see, foods to eat, and places to go. The more I see, the more I want to see. The little hidden gems, the nooks and crannies that only the locals know about. I even have a list of places that I need to see before I get too old to fly. I got bit by a bug, wanting to go out and Christopher Columbus the world. But here's the thing. Chris Taylor is a lazy sumbitch, and today I'm gonna tell y'all why sometimes it's better to just sit on your ass and be a hermit. Let me paint you a word picture. You just got finished a double shift at work.
I am at the end of a triple shift. That's 18 hours.
You've been on your feet for the last 17 hours straight, with maybe half an hour for a lunch break to gobble down a Bologna sandwich and a single, not nearly filling enough chocolate chip cookie. The battery in your phone just died, so you can't even listen to music on your 45-minute commute back home to an apartment that might as well just be 4 walls. You've hardly got enough money to afford your next sandwich, let alone a plane ticket. Doesn't that all make staying at home seem so much more enjoyable?
You know, you should lock your door. There's horrible people out there.
Yes, going out and getting out of your comfort zone in a brand new territory can be seen as a positive, but do you know why you call that 4-wall box a home? Because it's your home!
Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
We work our work weeks and occasionally do work from home too, all in an effort to have time for ourselves, to rest and relax. Think about it. That's the part of your day that you look forward to the most, the ability to go home and do nothing. We all work to get to our weekend so that we don't have to stress about our jobs. We just have to worry about feeding ourselves, staying relatively sanitary, and entertaining ourselves just enough to survive another week at our jobs. What a wonderful, vicious cycle. But okay, I hear you saying to yourself, staying inside isn't quite something you want to do. After all, that's what your job is. Why would you want to do the same thing when you get home? But that brings me to my second point. There's a good chance there's plenty to see that's a lot closer to your own homes than you realize. Allow me to explain. For my 30th birthday, yes, I'm 30, no, I don't look my age, yes, thank you for the compliment, I went to Paris for vacation. Basically, growing up in French Canada, I figured I'd at least have a handle on the language difference.
I only speak 2 languages, English and bad English.
Mostly. Over the course of a week and 2 weekends, I went out and explored. I climbed the steps of the Arc de Triomphe, saw the Eiffel Tower from various angles, walked both inside and outside of the Cathedral Notre Dame. There were even a bunch of walking tours that we did exploring the different routes and alleyways all around the city, getting guided by a local on all the different things that only a local would know about, while at the same time, seeing the main tourist attractions that were of high interest to me. After all, what's the point in going to a well-known place if you don't check out the most well-known places within it? There's one thing that I noticed that just threw me off kilter a little bit. Until common sense took over and I realized what I was seeing. See, all throughout these different areas were a slew of people, young, old, male, female, child, whatever, that were all hanging out, not paying any attention to all the great things all around them. The people of Paris had lived their whole lives with these things just being a part of their lives. It wasn't a special thing for them. It was the norm. Their every day that they'd known. So of course, it wouldn't faze them, even with a big crowd of people standing on the sidewalk while a guy in a pink vest explains why there's sculptures of breasts placed randomly on the walls of old buildings. As I see all these people walking by, essentially shrugging their shoulders at that which they already know, I realized this can't just be a Paris thing. Every place in the world is gonna have its own random little landmarks, its largest frying pan or most round ball of twine, which means there's a good chance that you don't need to travel at all. You can wander around your own town or city or wherever and explore all the details you never realized were there. I live in Montreal, Quebec, and I'm fairly ignorant of everything that's going on around me.
I don't know a damn thing.
Which includes, but is not limited to, the awesome landmarks that surround me. But I'm sure they exist, just as I'm sure wherever you live, there's places like that as well. In fact, let me know in the comments what kind of random awesomeness you've got. And if I'm ever in your neighborhood, I'll be sure to check it out. However, there is one final thing that will keep me landlocked to where I'm already at for just a little while longer. And it doesn't make me happy. It doesn't really make anybody happy.
Diamond suited up.
Money! The phrase has always been that money doesn't buy happiness, which is an amazingly degrading thing to tell a poor person where money would literally solve 90% of their problems. What nobody ever thinks is that while money can't buy happiness, the feeling, what money can do is provide a means with which you can get yourself things or put yourself into situations that make you happy. Traveling is one of those things. You need money to buy your plane ticket there and back. You need to find a place to stay. You need to feed yourself. And what's the point in traveling all that distance if you can't afford to do anything while you're there? Instead, what you can do is not spend whatever money you've got.
Stop! Blasphemer!
For a period of time anyways. If you do spend it on things that you enjoy. Things like video games or a trip to the movie theater. Things that in the short term cost less money and give you an experience. Yes, traveling to a new place is an experience as well. One that I wouldn't want to take away from anyone. Least of all myself. As seeing new sights and sounds and eating different foods, being around other types of people and seeing the differences between them and myself, that's the kind of thing that money can't buy. But you need to be able to observe those things. And sadly, it takes money to get to those places. Thankfully, you have the internet at your disposal. You can check out videos, pictures, blog posts, and all sorts of other things about people who already have traveled around the world. With the wonderfulness of the World Wide Web, you can see the world without ever actually having to leave your home. And isn't that what makes life even better? Not having to put on real pants. Despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, I do hope I managed to shed some light into why being a hermit is potentially a very good thing. Whether it be in the joys of spending your free time sitting on your couch vegging out, or just the fact that your hometown may in fact be much more interesting than you originally saw. Traveling is not the only way that you can see the world. And if that urge to leave your belongings behind for a week or two proves too strong, do yourself a favor and double check your bank account. It could very well be that the only trip you can afford is to the corner store for a case of beer as you make yourself at home in your PJs. As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for a new journey into my psyche every Wednesday at noon Eastern. And check the description for a link to our Twitch channel, where me and a buddy travel to a digitized world and attempt to explore a whole new world. Poorly, for your viewing pleasure. And finally, let us know in the comments below what your verdict is. Do you in fact have a cool landmark or tourist trap where you happen to reside? Or maybe a funny travel story where the security officer at the airport got a little too touchy-feely? Maybe you think I'm just completely wrong. By all means, bring up all of your points against my own, so that I may proceed to prove you wrong.
Kaboom! You've been lawyered.
But for now, in the case of being a hermit, the defense rests.
A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view.
Now there's something I wish was real. Magic! That way, it wouldn't cost a goram thing to travel to new places. We could just Hop on a magic carpet and be there. Well, if you don't fall off the damn thing.